Hey, this is Scott, and today we're going to take a look at some of these cases made by SKB and ThinkTank. So these cases are a really nice way to kind of get the best of both worlds. You have the really nice rugged durability of the hard shell SKB cases with the really awesome organization that's been developed by ThinkTank over the years on the inside. Of course, SKB does also have other cases that have a kind of foam cutouts made specifically for different cameras and different rig setups. But these you can change on the fly very easily, just like you could with any ThinkTank bag. So in terms of versatility, these really can't be beat. So I've got 4 of these here to kind of show you the variations in size and design, but if you check out SKB's website, there are tons and tons of different size and design combinations, so you really can't find exactly the one that's going to fit you best. I'll start off by talking about some of the points that are common among all these cases, and then we'll go into what makes them each different and unique. The first thing that I noticed when I picked these up is that they're incredibly solid. Of course, that means that they're a little bit heavier than a similarly sized or designed ThinkTank bag, but I mean, they're just really solid. I've even seen a video of SKB throwing this off a roof of like a 2 or 3 story building and it just bounced and landed with no problems. I definitely wouldn't want to do that with a case full of expensive camera gear, but it's nice to know that they're pretty near indestructible. A couple more details that may be a little bit difficult to kind of convey through pictures is the latches on here do have a little lever underneath that you squeeze to open and close it. Of course, you could just push it closed and it snaps closed as well, but it works very nicely and smoothly. The handles on here are also incredibly rugged, as they should be, because these cases can get very heavy. Most of them, not all, but most of them are also covered in a nice, very subtle but nice kind of rubbery texture, so it's easy to get a good grip on here when you're carrying a heavy case. Some of the cases also do have wheels and a kind of sliding handle that you can use to pull it like a regular suitcase. But what's different from a regular suitcase is that this is not using these extending tubes, it's just a solid piece of plastic that pulls out of the back of the case. Again, kind of difficult to convey in pictures, but this is actually really solid and it doesn't twist or anything. It lets you have a really good steady handle to pull this case with, again, because they can get very heavy, so that's definitely an important feature. The wheels were actually one of the very few points that I was also very slightly disappointed in, but that's probably only because I've been spoiled by the amazing wheels on the ThinkTank bags like the Airport International. Well, those wheels are a little bit soft, kind of like a high-end inline skate wheel, and they move very smoothly. They're quiet, they're smooth, and they work really nicely. These wheels are a little bit more of a hard plastic, so if you're on a rough texture like a street or something, it's going to be a little bit more bumpy and also a little bit more noisy. It may not be a big deal, but again, I was spoiled by those ThinkTank wheels, and I do wish that they had brought those over to this design as well. When you open these cases, what you're going to see is different depending on which options you choose, but one thing to keep in mind is that, of course, these are hard cases, so unlike a backpack or even a semi-soft case like the ThinkTank Airport International, you don't have any flexibility in what can fit in here. The physical limits of the bag are what you're going to fit, and that's it. You can't expand, you can't stretch it or anything like that, so you're going to want to make sure that you find the right size. What's nice is that while the names of these cases may look a little bit crazy, they're actually the dimensions of the case, so you can really accurately measure what you're going to need depending on what gear you're going to put in here. And like I said, they really do have like every size you could possibly imagine, including different depths, different widths, everything. And all of those you can find different combinations of the inside design and layout, so you really will be able to find exactly what works for you. On the inside of the lid, you have a couple different options. As you can see here, we have the standard egg crate foam, or you have a lid organizer, which is designed by ThinkTank. They're both very nice. Of course, this will give you a little bit more protection, but you'll lose out on the organization for things like batteries and cards and cables and small things like that. You'll have to put all of that inside the actual bottom of the case here. Whereas with this one, you'll have organization for cards, cables, any small accessories like that, and also a laptop. This is a very spacious pocket for a laptop. It fits very nicely. This is also slightly padded, so you won't totally be giving up protection if you choose this option, but of course it's going to be less than here, so it just depends on what you're going to want to put in your bag and which option you're going to want to choose. Some of them, like this one that I have here, also have a removable bag inside. So this one's a shoulder bag, but there are also backpack designs where you can actually have, again, really the best of both worlds. You have a hard case for transport when you're throwing it in your car or in a bus or something, but when you get to your location, you don't have to take the whole heavy thing with you. You can open it up and leave your case in your car or your hotel room and just bring the inside bag with you to the shoot. You really have everything, a protection and portability, and it's just a really nice option. Of course, with this, you're not going to get this egg crate or this top lid organizer, but it's just one more option depending on what you're going to be working with. So now let's just take a quick look at what we have inside and how I've been using them. So the two that I've been using the most are these two over here. I have this slightly smaller sized one, which I've been using for my cameras and lenses and stuff, and I also have this larger one underneath that I've been using for my video rig. In this smaller sized one, there's probably an endless amount of configurations you could use, but it'll fit quite a lot. You could put 2 cameras with lenses attached, and that's even if one has a larger lens like a 70-200 f2.8 on it. On top of that, you can easily fit a handful of lenses, flashes, and lots more. The height of this one in particular is a pretty good height for a non-grouped body, and you can stack 2 speedlights on top of each other without any issues. If you have nothing in the top section, you might get away with a slightly taller camera lens or something like that, but I wouldn't want to push it too much. The same size is also available with a little more depth too, so you can definitely go for that one if you need more height. This video case is designed similar to ThinkTank's video rig series, with one solid divider and a few folding ones to hold your rig in place, as well as a handful of these padded bumpers. Depending on the size, the number of these that you'll get will be different, so just check on the case description to see what's included. If you've never used a case like this, it's pretty nice. You can really make it hold your rig in place pretty well and use these gaps for storing things like cables, batteries, or other small accessories. I wouldn't mind a couple more straight small dividers to subdivide this extra section, but for a lot of people this may end up being more narrow and dedicated to storing cables and things like that. I was able to make it work though using one of these folding dividers, and I think there's a lot of potential for a fair amount of flexibility in how you set this up. Taking a look at these two over here, this larger case can really hold a lot of gear. There was actually a little bit too much room in here for a lot of my lenses and even cameras, and there's kind of a lot of wiggle room where my lens wouldn't sit very tight in there, so just be aware of that if you're thinking about going with one of these larger sizes. In this case, I went with the egg crate foam in here for maximum protection, since I'll probably use this case when I'm bringing all of my gear on a bigger shoot, which means I'll probably have another bag or two that I can throw all the littler accessories into. Again, there are tons of possibilities here, and there are a lot more sizes and depths and everything for, designs similar to these two, so you can really find what will fit your needs in particular. Finally, I have this medium-sized bag here with a removable shoulder case, and it also has the extending handle and wheels on this one. The layout is pretty much identical to these other cases, although in this case a little bit deeper. So overall, I love these cases and I would very highly recommend them. They have lots of protection and lots of versatility, and that combination is just, priceless. Speaking of price, the prices on these are actually very, very reasonable, especially when you compare them to other camera bags at this level. If you're thinking about getting one of these, I think you won't be disappointed. The most difficult part of it is choosing which one you want. If you want the egg crate foam, or the lid organizer, or if you want an inside bag, if you want one with wheels, if you want one without wheels. It's just an endless number of possibilities, which makes it a little bit difficult, but they're all very, very good options. So just find one that fits what you need, and I think you will not look back. If you have any questions or comments, as always, please leave it down below and I will be happy to get back to you. If you liked this video or found it helpful, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell icon to get notifications when I upload new content. As always, thank you for watching.